there was a metal plate because there was a hole in the floor. And I was able to lift the plate and put my banana peel down the hole of the floor and then cover it up. And for Hey everybody, this is James John from Car Addiction, and I'm going to tell you my obsessions about cars. I am recently married for 18 years with two beautiful kids, a boy and a girl, and I'm enjoying the married life, believe it or not. So.
Hey everybody, I will be giving away the Car Addiction window stickers to one lucky subscriber every month, so please hit the subscribe button right away.
Alright, there's three things that I do. One, I own a company called Can-Made Furniture Products, and we distribute furniture hardware through kitchen and furnitures. Number two, I do another company called LAF. That stands for That I Love, Appreciate, and Forgive Myself and Others. And I go help around people with mental illness, learning how to love yourself, because I was at a point where I was beyond suicide, and I switched from being in the dark side to the light side, which I love. And the last thing is that I have going on right now, I just invented something and patented it, and I just signed my first, I don't know if you know this soon, but I just signed my first deal in Pittsburgh last week with a licensing with the NHL, the NFL, and the NCAA. So you'll be looking out for it. It's called the Jimmy Bean, and that's all I got for you now. First memory of a car, well, there's probably two of them. One, my dad had a 1979 Datsun F10. This thing was every color and mostly gray, because that's what color duct tape is. And my dad used to drive me every Sunday to church and would bring a banana for me to eat on the way. And my biggest joy was where my feet was, in the car. There was a metal plate because there was a hole in the floor. And I was able to lift the plate and put my banana peel down the hole of the floor and then cover it up. And for me, looking out the back window, seeing the banana peel in the middle of the road, I think it was just so much fun to be in a car that was rinkety-dinkety. My dad worked his ass off, and I remember he said that he bought the car for $99, and it was a working car. And I think it's things like that that brings you memory, with your father or your mother, whoever it may be, those times enjoying the car ride. And that's one of them. The second one is I had the best dirt in town, or at least around my block. So I used to have Matchbox cars, which we all loved, and Hot Wheels. And my dirt around the neighborhood, everybody would come over and play in my dirt because it was just the perfect color, it was the perfect grit, it was grind, it was fine, and everybody came over to my house to play with Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, and we could just spend all day in the dirt playing with it, and that's what I love. Those are my two things. I think what got me in cars was the movies. Seeing, Cannonball Run, seeing Smokey and the Bandit, watching, the General Lee on TV, or the Fall Guy, with the truck. I mean, there was so many different vehicles. I just wanted to experience, feel, touch, drive, and it just started becoming a part of me, what I wanted to look forward to. And I think when I was 17 years old, I bought my first car off my dad for $400. It was a 1984 Bonneville Pontiac. This thing had probably 10 horsepower. And I used to live on top of a big hill that was maybe 2 miles to get on top. And to get up there, I would have to try to fly in my car way past the speed limit just to start going up halfway, to make it halfway. Then I'd have to pull to the side, put on my hazards, this is no lie, put on my hazards because the car didn't have enough horsepower to make it up the hill, and I have everybody going around me, and I was so embarrassed being, 17 years old, I can't make it up this car. I would pray that the car would make it up every single time. And I said, one day I'm just going to have a car that's fast, and this is bullshit. I want horsepower. So I think from having no horsepower to just having pure horsepower, that's what I wanted. My memory of my first love car, let's call it, was a 1986 Corvette convertible with a black top, gray exterior, and red interior. I worked my ass off for this car, and I'll never forget a quick story. I worked so hard for this car, and me and my father went to the Chevrolet dealership, and it just came in. It was dirty. It was just rolled in. And we said, "Oh, is this one for sale?" And they said, "Yeah, it just came in." The guy said, "Well, it would cost this much if you wanted it." And at the time, I think it was $16,000. And I'm like, "Dad, I have to get this and do whatever." So we said, we negotiated the price, and I don't think they were budging, because when they came back, they said, "Oh, it's not for sale." And they're like, "Why?" They said, "Well, it's really 18." I said, my dad got the owner, got the managers all involved and everything, and said, "My son's getting this car for $16,000, regardless if you like it or not." And I got the car for $16,000, and I'll be honest with you, another great memory of a car was that our fathers don't really tell us in my age that they're proud of us. And it was the first time my father ever said he was proud of me. I still get sensitive about it. And my father gave me $1,000 to put down. My dad never gave me a dime, and he also told me that he was proud of me all on the same day. How do you not stick with a memory like that for your first Corvette? So that's my memory of my first car. So I remember when I had this Corvette that I was 18 years old, and again, I worked since I was like 12 years old, and I just worked basically to get a car, and this was the car I wanted. But now, picture being 18 years old and driving around. Well, this was the first time that I realized people don't give a shit about you and your nice cars, because back in the day when I had let's say a shittier car, or whatever you want to call it, I would always look at people who had the Mercedes, the Jaguars, and I would cut them off, or I wanted to allow them to go first or whatever, because I didn't care. I'm thinking, you have money, you have whatever, you can sit and wait a minute, I'm going to cut in front of you. And the day happened where I worked my ass off for this car, and people were doing that to me. And I felt like people were putting me down because I had a nice car being young. And it really kind of came around in full turn when I said I would never treat people like this again, because they don't know how hard I worked for that car, and you just kind of want that respect back. So from that day forward, I never disrespected anybody who had a really nice car or expensive car, because I don't know their story, and they probably worked very hard for it. And if they didn't, well, so let it be. I don't know, but I treat everybody the same, regardless if you had a shitty car or the most expensive car. Again, they're cars and we all love them. So, to think about how many cars I've had to date, I couldn't even tell you. I know some I've maybe had for maybe, I don't know, maybe like 3 months. Some I've had forever. I've had cars from a Ford Escort that I used to beat the shit out of, that you have no idea. It would be like, try to fit as many people in that car and take turns, and it's the partying car from, I've had a Bentley, Flying Spur, all blacked out, V12, and again, people give you looks that you just don't care to have. People will judge you automatically. I had everything from vans, Jeeps. There's so many cars, I couldn't even list them, to be honest with you. I just love cars. But I do love my V. I had the Cadillac V, which I totally loved and ripped around everywhere, and that was awesome. So talking about the V, it was a 2011, really low kilometers, all blacked out. I was actually looking for a truck at the time. But the dealer's like, "Oh, this just came in, why don't you look at it?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Jersey, everybody has a Cadillac. My parents, my brother, everybody owned a Cadillac." I said, "I refuse to own a Cadillac." I did hear a few things about the V, but he says, "Just take it for a spin, here are the keys." I said, "Okay." And this was almost like on country roads, so I was going out by myself on country roads with the V. So I said, "Well, I'm going to hit it to the floor, and if it's worth it, I'll buy it." Well, let's just say, by the time I made it back alive, I bought the car right then and there. So if anybody ever has a chance to go out and drive a Cadillac V, it is sexy, It is a sleeper, and it's just balls to the wall. And my wife said to me, "Why do you love this car so much?" And we're on our way out to the movies, and I said, "This is why." Because I was doing about 120 kilometers an hour and on the highway, and I still hit the gas pedal, and I still spun the tires. That's what that car is made for. And it scared the shit out of me at that point because I didn't know it was actually going to do that. And it's written that it's supposed to be doing that, and or breaking the wheels at 100 miles per hour. And that's what I love. It's just an awesome car. If you ever want to enjoy, go and try it. It's amazing. All right. Dream car, shit. Dream car. Well, first of all, I appreciate every car out there. Anything with four wheels, I just love. Because it's get us from point A to point B. But dream car would probably be a Murcielago, Lamborghini. It was always lime green, but that's when I was like 5 years old, so let's move past that for the green Lamborghini. But maybe like an electric blue Lamborghini, everything fully loaded, and that would be on the fast side of it. And I think still go for the '79 Trans Am. It will be here one day. You will see me videotape the Trans Am, and I hope Saloon goes back and gets this clip and shoots it that I will have my Trans Ams will be embedded, and just I will have that for many years to come because it's just something that I loved and fell in love with. So those are probably the two cars that it's a must-have before I die. Is there ever a car that I wanted? The closest one would be, again, a Maserati, but you keep telling me not to do it. That would probably be it. More than once, I should say, and that would still be because of Sadoun, still does not recommend me to get a Maserati. And that is the one that I keep letting slip away because I do take Sadoun's advice because he knows a lot about cars. He knows everything I feel about cars. And he has always steered me in the right direction because I didn't listen to him once. And I bought a car. And I didn't listen to him and it was shit. And I regret buying it. And it was actually... a long story with that. I don't even want to get into it. It was actually in my Corvette in New Jersey with the top down. It was a full moon. It was the perfect temperature out. There was nobody on the roads, and it was REM on the radio, and you feel like you were transported somewhere else. It was so relaxing, and I just wanted this experience to last forever. It's something that I think I still look for today in a car ride that I can only capture for like 5 minutes, if that, at the most. You know, even if I caught 5 seconds of it, I'd be happy. You kind of get lost in this life of just loving cars, and it was mystical, it was magical, and I think every time I get in a car by myself with the radio on, I look for that most of all. I'm always looking for that, trying to find that experience. How I finance, say, my love for cars, I rob banks for a living. Just kidding. How I finance, you know what? I would say that, you know, being married, trust me guys, leave that shit alone. Go and get 3, 4, 5 jobs. It's better than dealing with, not that my wife has been there because I have never done that, but trying to take both of your monies and trying to go and do a hobby of yours that you might or might not make money, she'll never get it if she's not a car chick. So for me, it was ever helping out friends or doing things here on the side. Me, believe this or not, real estate has been very good for me. So I always moved a lot and made some money on the side doing real estate. So that always helped me to buy a car, to flip it, to buy another car, to keep flipping, and then you just move up more to the point where even if they're dusty as can be, maybe you can't keep them at your house, but these cars sit here in a warehouse covered in dust. I'll get them detailed as soon as spring is here. They're detailed inside. It's just, you do anything to have your cars and pray and ask friends for help to keep them stored or do this, and to keep them on the road so you stay sane and love your cars. So, the cars that I own now, well, this is a 79. This is a 94. I also have a 2018 WRX, which is my daily. I love it. I just had a AMG CLS 550, which is gone now. But these cars I love. Subaru, this is my 4th Subaru. I swear by Subaru. I love it. It's an awesome daily driver. It's a go-kart basically, and I just kick ass in it all the time, and I love it. It's driven like a Subaru should be driven without getting tickets. But I love Subaru tremendously. These cars are more for flipping. I think maybe I'll hold on to the Vet just because it's got like barely no clicks on it, and I just enjoy just having them around. I was telling Stu, sometimes I just come here and I sit in the Corvette. I love just to sit, hold onto the steering wheel, and just feel like I'm going down that road with the T-tops off and feeling the wind and maybe thinking the perfect song in my head. So that's what I do. I'm still a little kid at heart, and that's why I think we're all little kids at heart when it comes to our cars. And even Sejun got me 2 Hot Wheels, okay, of the Viper and the Corvette, which I love, and it's still on my desk. Thank you. And it's a great community being a part of the car addiction and just having that love of cars and talking about it, even if you may not agree if you're a Chevy or a Dodge guy. It's just knowing that you love something in your heart that you talk about and feel free, not feel like you're being judged, and feel like a kid again. That's how it is for me. Last question is, what's next? What is next? Well, if anybody wants, this is going up in spring, so if you want, connect with Sejun, find out what I'm looking for on this beast. What is next? I think enjoying this ride here in spring. I think I'm going to go over that Trans Am. I think my heart, I'm going to set for a Trans Am and just wait for it. Wait for a Trans Am. I'm still hot to trot for some Fox bodies. I may go for like an 80 or 79 Z28. I think it's still hot. I'm big into retro. I think retro is going to even be hotter in the next 5 years more than it's ever been. And I think I may touch upon a Hellcat. I've seen a few coming down in pricing. I might hold on to it for a season, but I think I'm just going to get one and just rip the hell out of it. That's what I'm probably going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and love cars as much as I do. Please, I would love to hear some comments about me and how I live, or with the cars and whatnot. So please leave your comments, hit like, and all these crazy things. And please give us some ideas what we should do for the next time here on Car Addiction. I love you guys. Peace out.